call this meeting of the South Director Board of Education together at 6:30. May we all stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Next item on the agenda is roll call. I'd like to say that Mrs. Early will be our acting secretary this evening.
Daniel Winston.
Present.
Anthony Johnson.
Present.
Lisa Early present. Shirley Tolliver present. Amanda Cheryl Fletcher and Lori Hicks are absent.
Thank you. Next item on the agenda is approval of agenda. Do we have any corrections to the agenda? There are none. The agenda will be as written. Next item on the agenda is superintendent communications. Mr. Bob.
Thank you, Madam President. I have several communications this evening. First and foremost, I'd like to thank Fisher Elementary School, the staff, as well as Principal Coos for hosting us this evening. Would also like to thank Miss Wendy Draper for the very thoughtful journals that she was so kind to put together for each board member and cabinet member for tonight's meeting. Very sharp, very handy. This will very much come in helpful ways for all of us. So when we think about journaling and being reflective, so thank you to Wendy Draper and to Fisher. Also want to thank Chef Tony and the culinary students that were kind enough to put together some cookies for the Board of Education for this evening. I also wanted to say congratulations to our very own Executive Assistant for Human Resources, Miss Ebony Henderson, who recently completed her Human Resource Specialist certification through the Michigan School Business Officials. So Ebony has been working tirelessly at that for quite some time, and she is now officially a Human Resource Specialist. So she's been special to us for a very long time, but now it's just official. Also want to thank the Thurston High School Spanish Department, comprised of Miss Kelly Firstel, Jennifer Garish, as well as Kara Spindler, who recently hosted for Spanish 2 and Spanish 3 at Thurston High School a field trip in celebration of Dia de los Muertos to Mexican Town in Detroit. That includes stops at the Detroit Institute of Arts, as well as at St. Anne's Cathedral, and also just touring different locations throughout Mexican Town, just 15 minutes down the road. So they had a very wonderful field trip just a couple weeks ago. Also want to say congratulations to our teacher leaders, as well as to Amy Davidson and the Curriculum Instruction and Assessment Department for coordinating a very successful professional development on November 7th. We had a lot of teacher leaders that led a lot of different breakout sessions across the district on Tuesday, and just a very invigorating day when we think about engaging with ongoing learning and continuous improvement, inclusive of the way that our social workers and counselors engaged at the professional development that took place at Thurston High School. We sponsored several districts from across the county when we think about mental health for youth and disrupting the narrative on youth suicide and mental health. And we were fortunate enough and were kindly graced with the presence of Dr. Singer, who was our keynote speaker. And Madam President, you were able to join me that day and be there with our social workers and counselors. And the Thurston Auditorium was pretty full at about 400 or 500 people. And so just an outstanding day of professional development. And then certainly most recently we had the opportunity on Friday, at least myself, to be at the annual leadership conference for Michigan Association of School Boards. And it was just a wonderful day of learning, and we had incredible sessions. And so when we think about continuous improvement, it's important that we all maintain to be at the forefront when it comes to our own learning. So thanks for including me in that, and that concludes my communications this evening, Madam President.
Do I have any board communications? Well, I attended Michigan Association of School Boards annual leadership conference on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And Jason joined me on Friday, and it was excellent. I love going because of the fellowship and just meeting others board members from all around the state. It was excellent. We had 580 school districts that attended that. And it was very, very nice. And I took 6 classes. Everybody thinks I'm crazy, but I was a little exhausted, but it was worth it.
And what she fails to mention is each class is approximately 2 to 3 hours long.
It's 3 hours each.
Modeling learning.
Super schooling.
Well, I'm trying to set a good example for the South Rapid Board of Education. Next item on the agenda is comments from the audience, topics related to the agenda. Are there any? There are none. Next item on the agenda is the consent agenda, and Mr. Kinsey, will you take that?
Yes, I will. Happy to. This is always a great opportunity when we get to welcome new family members to South Redford. So we are going to begin with Miss Taylor Kirkendale. Could you wave for us, Miss Taylor Kirkendale? Taylor is our new 3rd grade teacher over at Jefferson. She comes to us with 4 years of teaching experience in grades K-3. She most recently taught 1st grade at one of Detroit public schools. As a matter of fact, it was Nolan. And if you guys remember, we just hired a principal from Nolan. So this was actually, she comes highly recommended by the new principal of Miss Anissa Jackson over at Pierce. Taylor holds her bachelor's degree in early childhood education from Central State University. Her passions include cheerleading, skating, shopping, and spending time with her family. When she was with DPS, she was recognized as Teacher of the Month in 2022. And the other thing about Taylor is she is actually a Thurston alumni. And she was one of Mr. Bob Betsky's former students, who is now his colleague. So welcome, Taylor.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Also tonight, we have with us, if you could do a wave for us, Miss Claudia Rushlow. So Claudia is joining us as a special education teacher, and she'll be working with both Vandenberg and Fisher. So part of special ed is they have this thing called caseload. So it's only so many students they can actually have on a caseload. We've been busting at the seams in terms of special education enrollment, new students coming to the district, and then also those who qualify. So Claudia is giving us a hand in special ed where she's going to take on students from both schools, Fisher and Vandenberg. She comes to us with 12 years of experience teaching students with disabilities. Most recently served as a reading specialist at Redford Union, so we stole her from RU. She holds a bachelor's degree in marketing from Madonna University. Claudia holds a master's in special education, emotional impairment from Eastern Michigan University. She previously served on the board of Livonia Save Our Youth Task Force. And then also, her interests outside of work include hiking, golf, gardening, volunteering, and spending time with her family and friends. So, welcome, Claudia. This concludes, Madam President.
Do I have a board member willing to adopt the consent agenda?
Madam President,
Yes.
I move the adoption of the following resolution.
Do I have a support?
Support.
It's been moved by Mrs. Early and supported by Mr. Johnson. All in favor? Any nays? 4 ayes, 0 nays. Resolution adopted. I just want to say thank you to Ms. Taylor and Ms. Claudia. You graduated from Madonna in marketing, and so did I. In marketing. How about that? That's all right. Okay, next item on the agenda is the presentation of Fisher Elementary School.
So I'm doing technology again, so I'm just going to keep my fingers crossed. Welcome, everybody. Thank you for coming to Fisher. I have 1 year under my belt, so I'm feeling a little bit better today. And of course, I'm taking the dive by doing it all through this presentation. I first have to say thank you to Princess Scott. I could not have done this without her. I stole her from Pierce, so if we're taking people from other places. I took her from Pierce, and I have just been fortunate, and she has this amazing gift. And when I brought up the that we would like presentations for the, in the morning for our morning show, we got a great cast, and I hope you'll enjoy me presenting my neat data through the eyes of our kids. So here we go.
Welcome to Fisher Elementary School. This evening we have something great in store for you. And don't worry, Mrs. Earl, it didn't cost us a thing. Let's get straight into it. Exactly! Thank you, Vernon, for that. And we have our special guest, Miss Coos, and I'm Maurice Webb. And she's going to show us about how we increase in the M-STEP scores.
Thank you, Maurice, for that introduction. And good evening, board members and ladies and gentlemen. I'd like to take just a minute to just refresh you on a few things. We still have our big rocks, and of course, as you can see, our MyCAP strategies are the same as our big rocks. We need that social, emotional, safety. We have to have all those things in place so that we can have our assessment and our curriculum moving forward. Our next slide here shows the performance level and the ranges of the M-STEPS scores. And Maurice, I'd like to show you third grade data. Can you, give me a little insight on what you think's going on in with our third grade scores?
Yeah, I can see that we increased about 13% from last year in math.
Yes, yep.
And we almost did better than the county right there.
Yep. And how about in ELA?
Oh yeah, in ELA we did better at 3% than the county did and in the district.
And for sure, we definitely increased from 2022. We went from 19% to 33%.
That's incredible.
I know. And we can always do what? Increase our scores. Thank you, Maurice. I appreciate your insight into our third grade data.
Back to you in the studio. Thank you, Maurice. I'll take care of the fourth grade. Today I'm here with Ms. Coos, and we are going to talk about the M-STEP, ELA, and math proficiency. And I am Isabella.
Thank you, Isabella, for that introduction. And I know this is some exciting data for you, since this is your fourth grade data you're going to be talking about now that you're in fifth grade. So I appreciate this. So what can you tell me about this chart today?
Well, I see that in ELA, we improved 11% above the district, 12% above the county, and 2% above the state. And that is really good.
That is awesome. So we just cleared the board, didn't we? Better than the district, county, and state.
In math, we improved 11% above the district and 4% above the county, which is also good.
Very good. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that.
Your paper, you got some information about fifth grade over there? Thanks, Isabella. And yes, I do have a lot of fifth grade data. I'm Vernon Butler, and I'm here with Miss Coos. Miss Coos, would you like to talk about fifth grade with me?
I would love to talk about fifth grade with you.
All right. So here in ELA, we definitely improved from 2022. 2023, we definitely beat the district, the county, but 3% off from the state.
Hey, we're getting there.
Yeah, we're very close. And then
in math,
28%. We beat the state by, not the state, the district by 8, the county by by 6, but ever so slightly we missed the state.
But look at where we were in 2022.
Yes, we were at 10%,
Yep.
and we moved up by 18%. That is a lot.
Yep.
And then in science, we had 26. We beat the district by 2. We tied in the county, but that state, we still got to get there. And then we definitely need to work on social studies. But we did improve from 2022, so that's a good thing.
Your glass is always half full, not half empty. I love it. Keep going.
So we definitely need to work on social studies, but all the rest of them, that's pretty good.
Yep.
They're all good. But we need to work on getting that state. We really do.
We'll beat the state this year.
But we still have a lot more months to go, so we could easily just study for it, and then we could beat the state. That's all.
Bye, buddy. Thank you very much. I appreciate you. I appreciate you giving up the data like that. Thank you.
Thank you for having me here.
It was my pleasure. Thank you so much. Thank you, Isabella, Vernon, and Maurice for explaining the data to the board. Here's what, so what, and now what. So obviously they explained all the slides to you. Now what? Our strengths in Tier 1 instruction is still there. We're coaching academically, behaviorally. Small group instruction is definitely on the rise. You'll be able to see a little win time in the near future. Supporting social emotional needs to our students is huge, just like it was in the Big 3, and progress monitoring. So just want to let you know that that is happening. So as we see Maslow's hierarchy of school needs and Ms. Rabovetsky's Big 3, they're equally the same, and we're trying to take care of all of those things for social and emotional, safety, and then we're going to get to that curriculum. And like Vernon says, it can only go up. Thank you.
No, orange has about halfway down the hall. Sources confirmed. It's run out of use. Breaking news.
Sorry.
No, orange has about halfway down.
Okay.
Our Fisher Fireside Chat. This is Michelle Chase. I'm Mary Beth Yankowski, and we're here to talk to you about Fisher's early literacy plans and practices. Perfect. Great. So this summer, Mary Beth, myself, Mrs. Coos, and a team from Jefferson attended training with the state to improve and grow our MTSS system. And from that training, we made a few decisions. Right, we decided to pilot some things at Fisher and Jefferson this year. And one of the things that we decided that we wanted to explore is altering the assessments we were using to identify our students who were in need of additional support in the area of literacy. In the past, we have used an assessment called DRA, or Running Records, and what our consultants were suggesting is that we use something diagnostic in a different way. So we've made the switch completely to a cadence this year. We found that to be incredibly informative.
Absolutely. So this year we've set up a more formal process of progress monitoring our students in reading. And what I do is I take that data and I work with classroom teachers, and we have what we call win time, which means what I need. And during that time, we are meeting individual student needs in the area of literacy, and we're using that progress monitoring data to make decisions on those groups and who they'll be working with.
Great. And the goal of that progress monitoring really is to see, are the instructional practices we're using making an impact for the students? And if we see they're not, we make some adjustments
To our instruction, absolutely.
Yep. The other thing that I think was an aha for all of our team that was in Lansing doing this work this summer was our need to really revisit the intervention programs that we were using.
Absolutely.
And one of the things that was lifted is we needed something that really targeted the foundational skills more explicitly.
Absolutely.
And so we decided to look into our options and we made a plan.
Yes. So Jefferson and Fisher are piloting
a program that is called UFly. And you can see behind me the board that I'm using with my students. And this is Tier 3 part of this curriculum. And you can see that not only are we teaching these letter sounds, but we're actually teaching the students how they would form their mouth when they're making those sounds. And with the consultation of the UFly researchers and experts that we had the opportunity to see, and our SFA consultants, we decided to merge the visual images used in both programs, so our students that are most striving see the connections between our Tier 1 core curriculum and the UFly supportive curriculum that we're doing. While the strategies are very similar between the Tier 1 classroom instruction and the Tier 2 and 3 materials, we wanted the kids to see the connection with the images that they're seeing in their groupings. And that's why, like some of them, you'll see 2 different images on the card because we're incorporating the SFA image as well. The one thing that was appealing to us about UFly and that aligned with what was shared with us at our state training is that a really strong program can be used at Tier 1, Tier 2, and Tier 3. Post-pandemic, one of the things our Acadians data revealed to us is that our second graders really could use more foundational skill instruction. So our second graders at Fisher's, our second grade staff, was very thoughtful and decided we're going to implement UFly at Tier 1 using grade level content. And then we're going to go back in our Tier 2 and Tier 3 to target those students with exactly the spot that there have some gaps in their learning so that we can accelerate all our students and get them on grade level moving forward. And that's the great thing about our win time. We're going to be able to go into those UFly materials, and like Michelle said, we can start exactly where those students have some deficits to make sure that we fill those gaps for those students. Yeah, we've done some training with staff, yes. Professional development was spent the whole day, not only teaching paraprofessionals, classroom teachers, getting some materials ready, and doing some really good planning to implement this at all levels. Teachers are excited, and we're excited because it feels like, you know, we got in it, we were doing the best we knew at the time, and as we've learned more, we're really being allowed to adapt and lean into the best practices that are now known in the research. So we're excited to see where this will take our Fisher kids and our Jefferson kids.
Yes, absolutely.
And I think that's about it. That's about it. Thanks for joining us.
Justin, did you hear about the corduroy pillow? It's making headlines.
Until next time, have a great day. Bye.
It worked. And I have to tell you, the kids, those were first takes on the data. That was just as authentic as it could be. So I absolutely loved it. I loved it. And thank you, Mary Beth and Michelle and Amy for allowing us to, you know, pilot these programs in both, you know, Jefferson and Fisher. And we're pretty excited to, you know, to see the progress and what's going to happen afterwards. So thank you for all of that. And I just have one more thing in my presentation. I started something at Fisher this year. I tried last year to have my teachers acknowledge each other, and it didn't work out. No one wanted to do a shout out. And so this year I actually had I saw an eagle, and he's this really cute eagle, and he's got a little bobblehead. It's different than this one. And I presented it, and it is now our tradition that we present it at every staff meeting to the next staff member that is acknowledged. And so what I wanted to do today was present this eagle to somebody on the board in hopes that maybe you could try this tradition as well. So if you give me a moment, I would like to read this statement. Most Native American people attach special significance to the eagle and their feathers. Images of eagles and their feathers are used on many tribal logos as symbols of Native American people. To be given an eagle feather is the highest honor that can be awarded within indigenous cultures. Both the bald and golden eagles and their feathers are highly revered and considered sacred with Native American Indian cultures, religions. And they are honored with great care and shown in deepest respect. They represent honesty, truth, majesty, strength, courage, wisdom, power, and freedom. And I want to start a new board meeting tradition to give this award to one of you tonight in hopes that you will carry on this tradition and award to another board member next month. Use your own eagle eye to notice the good works in one another and keep the eagle flying from next to next. Please understand that each of you makes a remarkable case for this award. I just wanted to start this award with a person who represents the eagle in so many ways. This person shows us their courage every day by supporting our administration, community, staff, and children. They work tirelessly to make sure that South Redford is the best place to send our children. I am never surprised to see them at any event. This person also represents truth, honesty, courage, strength, each and every board meeting. This award goes to you, Madam President. Well, it's funny because, yeah, they can get that. I can laminate it for you if you want. Because most of them get laminated and they take it back to their, and that is, oh yeah, we can laminate for you if you'd like. Not kidding. But that concludes my presentation. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. So now we will take a 15-minute break and welcome our new teachers. And I believe we have something over there.
Oh, yeah, snacks over there.
Thank you. It is 7 o'clock.
Right there. Come get your jacket.
Next item on the agenda is
Put on my jacket.
Jefferson Vanderburg Pierce Middle School mechanical equipment. Mr. Byer.
Thank you, Madam President. So our partner from Barton Mallow, Kelly Ferguson, is here. However, I think she just stepped out for a moment. But actually, the next two agenda items are for our friend and colleague, Ms. Kelly Ferguson.
All right.
So I will turn it over to Kelly for our next two agenda items.
Hello, good evening, everybody. Lovely to see you guys again. So our first agenda item is for consideration. You guys are the BUV pre-purchase package that we had for Jefferson, Vandenberg, and Pierce Middle School. As mentioned to you before, we're trying to do a lot of pre-purchase mechanical and electrical equipment as much as possible in order to make sure we get it in time for installation. By also combining these three schools together, we're going to get a better price because we're purchasing over 100 units combined. So we're looking at, or roughly 100 units combined, I should say. So we're looking pretty good there. One thing I did want to clarify, we did have two bidders, which are basically the two manufacturers that were allocated, that were allotted in the bid package for this specific work. They're both very, very competitive, very, very good. We currently have Thermonetics providing our units at Adams and Innovation and at Fisher. When we went out for bid, we realized we had posted addendum because we realized at that time that we could also get some more savings by eliminating something called a bipolar ionization from each of the units, which was not necessary in this environment. And so that's why we had to go out for a posted addendum. During that posted addendum process, the low bidder initially was Bullhouse, actually ended up becoming a little bit higher than Thermonetics. So we ended up going with Thermonetics, that's what we're recommending. So currently in your district, you will have Thermonetic units in 6 out of the 7 schools, because we have not bid out Thurston High School at this point. So do you guys have any questions about this?
Are there any questions? So when you said that thermonetics were, had a better bid, so they saved us some money?
Yes, they did.
Good, that's what I like to do.
By eliminating that, and we do have to thank Michelle Kearns, who's the legal planner. She recognized that we didn't need a specific item that had been noted in our package. And with her mentioning that, and we're coming down, I think, over $100,000 in savings. So we're excited about that. We're also going to be capturing those savings on the ones we've already purchased for Adams Innovation and Fisher as well. So we'll be saving some more money.
That's fantastic. I love to hear that.
And the next item is for consideration as well. It is the innovation millwork. So when we went out to bid originally for innovation, we bid all the bid categories. However, we only got one bidder for casework, which millwork was included in our casework package. So we went out and rebid that package out. However, the wording in our work scope mistakenly eliminated millwork in the process. So we currently have purchased already the casework, but we just need the millwork. So FYI, if you guys don't know the difference, because I had to figure out the difference myself, is casework is more so the pre-manufactured item. So think of like IKEA. That's what casework is like. It's already prefab, and they just come and install it that way. Whereas millwork is more custom. They have to, actually go and make it in their shop a lot of times, and then install that. So the millwork that we went out to bid for, we got 2 bidders, which were relatively very competitive in the pricing. They will have the items, both of them were able to have the items fabricated and ready to go by the time we turn over innovation by the end of the year. And it's for our custom cafe desk, or not desk, our cafe receptionist area and the nurses station, as well as some additional items that are going on the wall. So they're pretty good pricing.
Now, could you tell me again about the casework?
Yes. So when we bid out innovation in November of last year, we only got one bidder at that time for casework. So we did not open that package at the time, and that probably had a complete bid in it. When we rebid it out in February of this year, we changed some of the wording in the scope. So unfortunately, when we changed the wording, it eliminated the millwork portion and only captured the casework portion. So this is actually getting the balance of that work for that division.
Very good. Anybody have any questions for Ms. Kelly? Thank you.
Thank you. You do it. I'll attempt to.
Next item on the agenda is the Plus Delta aim.
Madam President, what processes help the Board of Education's work this evening?
I have a plus, a selfish plus, but it's still a plus. I like the adult size furniture. I know we go to some elementary schools and we have the smaller furniture, which is not conducive to us, not smaller people. So I like that we have full size adult furniture that I can slide up under it and be comfortable. So thank you for the setup of the adult furniture. Thank you, schools. Always got my back.
Anyone else?
Opportunities for improvement?
Wait.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Yes, go ahead. I'm sorry, Madam President.
I'd like to thank Ms. Coots for, I love the way you did that presentation. I love the kids, that was just fantastic.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
Yes, that was good.
I had help. I did that on my own. Thank you.
You already got no voice now.
But I just love to see the kids participate.
It was beautiful.
Thank you.
Now, opportunities for improvement, what processes could help the board's work in the future?
I'll say it.
What?
It would have been nice to have all the board members here. So I think, the more board members we have here, the work through processes is the better. So I think that was one delta that we were missing some board members today.
Well, I just like to say this, that we just had board meeting. That's right.
Still, it's a-
Anything else? Well,
That's all, Madam President.
if there's nothing else that comes before this board, I adjourn this meeting at 7:24.